once again announce. So we can have our missed quiz evaluations on Friday. That is this Friday. That is on 29th October during our regular regular class itself. So regular class, that is third hour. So last 15 minutes we can make use for the missed quiz evaluation. So the portions for it will be the symbolic data and assignments. Okay. So all the concepts related to symbolic data, whatever we have discussed, the applications, everything. Next topic is assignments. Okay, let's start today's class. So like this, we are going to find an act value for the pattern. It's like your values and for that we are going to power 1, power 2, we are going to multiply with that. That is power. So that was so that will be hash code particular pattern. So for this particular pattern, like we need 2 into 10 over 2, that is 200 plus 10 plus 120. 200. That is what we are going to get. That will be the hash value for the pattern group of value for the each node. So let us start. So today's class, today's topic, what we are going to cover is with respect to the environmental diagram. So last class we have discussed how the assignment statement works. So for similar to other programming languages, like when we are using this equal to operator, how it is working. So in Lisp, how we can set up this assignment operator is by using this set exclamation. So set exclamation, how it works we have discussed, and how the procedures, what are the different ways how we can write the procedure, and when we are doing it in different, when we have written the procedure in multiple ways, how it is getting affected, how the environment is, how the memory is getting affected or how the variables are getting affected, we have discussed. Also, we have seen if you are having a block of statements to be written, that is, if you are having multiple statements and if it has to be made it to be as a block, then we can use the syntax called begin. So these were the two new things which we have learned in last two classes. So moving on to the environmental model. So this environmental model is nothing but we will be discussing the same concepts, whatever we have discussed. And now we will look with respect to the memory, how the memory is being allocated and how we access it. So just here we will be representing all the concepts, whatever we have learned in the pictorial format. So that is what is this environmental model. And this environment, it's nothing but it's memory, the other name for memory. So that is the reason why we are saying it to be as an environmental model. So if you see here, how the variables have been declared and how we can access it. So based on if suppose if you see at the bottom, if you are seeing we have 3 boxes, and these 3 boxes we call it to be as the environment, or I can say it to be as if for each based on each block, right, based on each local variable concept, or I can say it to be as a block. So based on each block, how we have created the variables, based on that each block will be, each frame will be created, or each environment will be created. Environment means which is nothing but memory. So each memory will be created. So when I'm saying a memory, if it has more than 1 or 2, we can put it to be as a frame. Frame means which is nothing but this box. So simple, a box, whatever we are saying, this box which contains all the contents inside, that is the at this particular frame or in this particular location, how many variables we can hold it and what are the values related to it. So this is what we call it to be as the frame, or I can say the other model for other way of representing your memory. So in one particular block, if you see here, we have put three boxes. So three boxes means which I meant to be as three blocks. So in each block, I had the first block, which I can say it to be as like a global variable. So I have a global variable declared where I had variables to be like x and y, where it has been assigned with the value 3 and y has been assigned with the value 5. Okay. After that, I have another block, say for example, like main function, something like that. In that block, I have a variable called z and x declared, where it has been initialized with the value 6 and 7 respectively. Okay. And I have another block inside the main function. If I am using any for loop or something like that, not inside main function, inside I have another add function, and I have these variables. Add function, I have some function I have defined. So and this function, the variables which I have declared it to be as m and y, and the values initialized for this variables are 1 and 2 respectively. Okay, so if I think you can imagine. So I'm saying that this x and which is like a global variable, z and x which is in the frame, I have just named it to be as each box I have named it with respect to Roman number 1, 2, and 3. So these each boxes I am saying it to be as like a frame. Frame means it's a block. It's a content which for each block, the what are the memory required, how much it required or how much it used. So based on that, this is how I have represented it. Okay, this is just the representation of the memory. So using a box, that box I have it's called to be as the frame, and based on how many blocks we had, each boxes has been created, or I can say each frames has been created. Now, after this frames has been created, what we have to do? We have to have the interfaces, that is like how it will be connected. So when we are connecting it, it will be, we make use of some kind of names. So if you say from main function, this is from the frame 2. So frame 2, how do I access? I'm accessing with the name capital A. So capital A is used for taking the referring to this frame 2. That is, as I have said, it is like a main function which I have just named it. And from main function, if I am accessing any other variables like x and y, that is the global variable, that I have referred it by using this variable c, not variable, a pointer called c. And I have just said I have another function also, some add or any other function which has been represented by using the frame 3. And this frame 3 I am accessing by using the pointer b. And from this function, if I have to access the global variables, that I am accessing by using the pointer d. So the point here is, based on each block, we create each boxes in the sense each environment or each frame I will be creating. Once each frame has been created, based on how it has to be, how the connections goes on, how it has to be called and all, the interface would be created. When the interface has been created, it will be creating with respect to the names. That is, how we can by using the names only we can that is when we are pointing from frame 2 to frame 1, we can say that we are referring it by using the pointer c. So, so it is easy for us to refer by using some kind of names. So each frames will be named, given some kind of names. So now, if you see here, from global function or from frame 1, if I am accessing the variable x and y, I will be getting the values x and y to be as 3 and 5 itself, right? If suppose from main function, that is from frame 2, if I am trying to access the variable x, which variable I can get? From frame 2, if I am accessing the variable x, the x will be assigned. We can access the x value to be as 7 itself. Because within this block, we have a variable called x defined. So whenever within this block, when you are trying to access the variable x, we will be able to access that same local variable, which is 7. Now let us see if we access the variable y, what happens. So within this frame 2, we don't have the variable y. then where it goes? It goes and checks if it is connected to the previous one. Is there any that is like inheritance concept? If is there any other location being pointed from this to this? So we it will be saying it will be pointed to the before one. So it will be looking over here, and we say that yes, we have another pointer, the variable y, which has been defined here. So we can access the variable y from here. So from frame 2, if you are trying to access the variable y, we will be getting the variable, even though it is not there in the frame 2 block, but since we have been pointed from frame 2 to frame 1, so we will be able to access the variable y with the value 5. So this is like your inheritance concept. If we are not having it in this block, then it will go and check in the parent place whether it has been there or not. If it is there, then we will be able to access that particular variable. Now coming to the variable z, what happens? Variable z, when you are trying to access, which is there within the frame 2, so you will be able to access the frame z variable to be as 6 itself. From here, if you are trying to access the variable y, we don't have it, but it will be accessing it from the previous one, that is the above one. So it will be, we will be able to get the value 5, which is from the global variable. Just for you to imagine, I'm just saying it to be as global variable, this to be as main function, something like that. Okay, now from frame 3, if you are trying to access the variables, how it will be? So from frame 3, when I am trying to access, I have named the frame 3 to be as B. So by using the B pointer, I can access the variables M and Y. When I'm trying to access the variable M and Y, when it is M, I will be getting the same variable which has been initialized within this block, which will be 1. If I'm trying to access the variable Y, then it will be nothing but it will be, Y will be nothing but it will be 2. How about the variable X? X which is not available within this block, we don't have any variable X. So what it does, it goes and sees whether it is there available with the parent one, that is in the frame 1, because this is only pointer which has been connected to. So it goes and sees whether X is existing or not. Yes, X is existing, so it will be taking the X variable. So X will be taken from the frame 1. So where the value assigned will be 3. Now from this frame 3, if I try to access the variable z, within this block frame 3, we don't have the variable z initialized, declared or initialized. Now it goes and sees in the parent place whether z is existing or not. Z over here also it doesn't exist. So what it does, it says that z variable is not accessible from the pointer through pointer B or through pointer D. It cannot be accessed. So if you are trying to access the variable z which is not accessible, so it will give you an error message. Similar is the case from frame 2 if you are trying to access the variable M which is not existing in frame 2 as well as in frame 1. So it will not be able, we will not be able to access the value of variable M. So it will give you an error message. It says it has not been declared which has been associated with the pointer A or as well as with the pointer C. So this entire structure, what we call it is, this is called to be as the environment. That is nothing but it's a memory. Okay, hope you are having a small idea or like what we are going to discuss further also. Okay.
Ma'am,
So just yeah.
environment is this whole, like all the 3 frames or just like one frame again?
No, it's everything put together. We call it to be as the environment. That is each frame with respect to its interface or inherited part.
Okay.
Each block we can say it to be as the frame. Each boxes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so just before going with the this environmental model and all, you have to know like what is the substitution model. So already we have discussed with respect to the substitution model. Substitution model is nothing but that is like whenever you are calling any particular function, we keep replacing it with how it has to be executed. What is the body of that particular content? Based on that, we keep substituting it, and then we once we reach to a point like we don't have any more function calls, then it starts evaluating, right? Uh, so, uh, so this just you have to remember this, because when we keep calling the functions, we keep calling the functions by passing the values. So once we reach to a point where we don't have any more user-defined functions to be called, then we start then we start solving that particular expressions. Okay, that is then we start solving all the sub-expressions. That is, each innermost bracket parenthesis will be the one which we will be solving it first, and then it keeps going. So keeping this point, okay. So now if you have defined a procedure, the simple procedure square. How do we define a square procedure? So define within the parenthesis, when we say the name of the procedure square, we have a single argument x, and the body of the procedure will be nothing but multiplication of x with x, and closing of all the parentheses, right? This is how we are defining the procedures. But internally, how it will be considered. That means how the system consider whenever you are defining a procedure, something like this, how the system takes it. So how the system takes it is, the system will be taking it to be as, or we can say it to be as, this is equivalent of writing it to be as define square. Square is now considered to be as a variable name. It could be defined to be as lambda of x multiplication of x with x, right? So we can even write it like this also. So square is now a variable which is having a procedure. So whenever I use this name square, it is going to return a lambda procedure. So where you are expected it to pass one argument, right? So when it comes to the procedure call, will it change? Will there be any change? If I define it something like this, the first one, if I define this procedure something like this, how the procedure call will be, say your x is 5, we will be calling the square procedure square with the value 5. Right? X will be getting the value to be as 5. Now, how about this one? How the procedure call, if it is like this, it will be whenever I say square, it will be nothing but it will be lambda of x everything. So if I have to pass the value for the lambda, how it should be? I have to have a parenthesis where I have to have the value passed here. So when it comes with respect to the procedure call, both the ways it is the same. Okay, so keeping this point, how do we represent in the memory? How it could be is, so whenever I'm saying it to be as within the file, whatever procedures I'm defining, I'm saying it to be in the global environment. So in the global environment, along with all the other variables, like all the primitive procedures, along with all the other variables, I am having one procedure which has been defined to be a square. So how do I represent it? This is just the representation, how we are going to represent. So we will be having a box drawn. Within this box, we can have a name of the procedure, square. The representation of the procedure in this environmental model is done with respect to this representation. So where we have two circles drawn, from one circle, or I can say it to be as from one pointer, we will be able to access what is the parameter assigned to this particular name square, which is nothing but x, a single argument. What is the body of this procedure? So body of the procedure, which is nothing but multiplication of x with x. So the name of the procedure has two pointers, and this is how it is represented. Two circles will be drawn, and from one circle, that is one circle which is nothing but it's a pointer. By using this pointer, we will be able to access what is the argument which it has been parameter what we have, and what is the body of this procedure. So this is how it will be represented. What about the other pointer? Other pointer will be with respect to whether any other variables, or whether it has to be where it has to be pointed back, or is there any dependency with any other frames. So this pointer will be making use of if there is any dependency with respect to any other frames, then this arrow will be pointed to that particular box. But for this particular example, this square procedure doesn't have any other dependency, so it will be pointed back to the same global environment itself. So what I meant is, each box, whatever box we are drawing here, this rectangle box, it will be called to be as a frame. Each rectangle box is called to be as a frame. So each frame will be given some kind of name. So at the starting frame, which is considered to be as the global environment. So the starting frame will be named with respect to the global environment, where you will be having all your primitive procedures, like when you are using all the arithmetic operators like plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulo operator, remainder operator, what it has to be done. So all those will be existing right now over here itself. That is the reason why we are saying it to be as other variables. So along with other variables, we have defined a square procedure. So square procedure, how it will be represented is, so when we are saying this procedure square, how it will be represented? It will be represented with respect to lambda. Why I'm saying it is a name? Because this is taken with respect to, this is represented in this way. So define square. So square is now considered to be as a procedure, that is as a variable name, which is returning a procedure. So it will be, how do we represent the procedure in this format? Environmental model is, we make use of 2 pointers, and these 2 pointers are represented in this way with respect to 2 circles. One pointer will be maintaining the details regarding what is the arguments, that is the parameter part, as well as the body of that particular procedure. The second pointer will be maintaining the details regarding whether there is any dependency with respect to any other frames. If there is any other dependency, then it will be pointed to that particular box. If there is no other thing, then it will be pointed to the same global procedure itself. Okay. So now, along with this procedure, define square, this one. If I have a variable also defined, say I have defined A with the value 10. Now how the environmental diagram will look like? A is now a variable which is holding a value. So here what happens, along with other variable, we have square. Square is nothing but it is a procedure. Now along with this we have a variable A. So A will be here, a colon with the value 10. So since it is a value, value will be stored here itself. Value will be represented in this way itself. When it is a procedure, this is the representation how it will be shown. Okay. So environmental model is nothing but it is just a representation how the memory has been allocated and how we are going to access it, or how the pointer has been pointed to, so through which we can access those particular variables, how it will be executed. Okay. Fine. So this is with respect to the definition part. So I have defined a variable A, I have defined a variable square. So based on the definition of these two, this is how it is represented. Now, if you are having a procedure call happening, so square of 5, when I do square of 5, how it will be? That is, we have defined A here. Now this is the definition of it. Now I am saying square of 5. This is my procedure call happening. So how it will be represented here? So square of 5, where it has to be? we can't put it in the global variable. Why? Because square of 5, we are passing the variable x, that is for this particular variable x has been allocated with some memory, and once it is done, that particular memory has to be removed, right? So when we have such a situation, we cannot allocate it along with the global variable. Then how do we do is we create. So whenever there is a procedure call happening, we will create a new frame. New frame is which is nothing but which will be a rectangle box. So to this rectangle box, we are naming it because this is a named procedure. So we have a name as allocated for this procedure. So we are naming it with respect to E1. So E1 here, it just represents it to be as environmental 1, where X has been assigned with the value 5. So now you are having a frame assigned where X has been allocated with the value 5. And from where it has to be pointed. Now there is we have created the frame and we have given the name. Why we have given the name? Because this procedure, whatever we have created, it is the named procedure. So it will be having, we can access it also from wherever. Whenever you say a square, we can access it with respect to a particular name. So for that reason, we internally how we can access it by using this pointer name E1. Once this box has been created, where it has to, that means this pointer, this box will be always pointing to your global environment. That is from where we have called it. That is just above where the definitions we can get it, or just above from where we have called. So it will be pointed to the above boxes. So this, once we create a box, and after that it will be pointed to the above where it has been, from where we have called it. So these arrows are nothing but these arrows are the same concept of your inheritance. Okay, so from this even pointer, that is by using this even pointer, we have created, whenever we have called a square procedure with some value. Here we have called the square procedure by passing the value for 5 as 5. So x will be assigned with the value 5, and we are trying to access the procedure, the body of the procedure. So which is nothing but multiplication of x with 5, x with x. So multiplication operation we have to get it. So by using how we will be getting the multiplication operator, multiplication operator which is existing in the other variable part, which has been like a primitive procedure. So we can access the multiplication procedure from the other variables. Similarly, x variable value we will be getting it from the same frame E1. So 5 multiplied by 5. So multiplication, what it has to be done, it will be, we can get it from the other variable, it will execute and it will return. So once this definition is done, that is once your procedure call is done, it will return the value 32 back to this global environment, and this frame will be released. After that, after this, you cannot access any more even frame. So this is how your internally, how the memory allocation happens and how it will be releasing. So whenever there is a procedure call, it will be creating a new frame and allocate whatever arguments corresponding to that, it will be allocated. And as an interface part, it will be pointing to the above block, which from where we have from where we have called it. Okay. From where, or in the other terms, I can't always say like from where we have called it. We can say it to be as from where we can access this procedure. The definition of the square procedure. Okay. Let's see one more example. So this is just the whatever we have done right now. All those are been explained here. So let's see one more example. Okay, here we have 3 procedures defined. So as I have opened my file, I have defined 3 procedures: a square procedure, sum of squares procedure, and an F procedure. So square procedure which accepts one argument, sum of squares procedure which accepts two arguments, f function which accepts one argument, and it calls the sum of squares procedure, where sum of squares procedure will be calling square procedure. Now, how do we represent in the global environment? So we will be having a box, the global environment. I'll just write it to be as G. Global environment we have along with other variables. I'll write OV, other variables. Along with this, we have our square procedure defined. So square procedure, it's a procedure. So a pointer maintaining the details of the square. So where you will be having the parameters, which is X, and the body of the procedure. I'll just write B, body of the procedure will be maintained, because anyways in the next slide it is mentioned. And this pointer will be pointed back because we don't have any dependency with respect to any other frames. So it will be pointed back to the global variable, the frame which has been created. Next, where we have the sum of squares, SOS. This is also a procedure. So you will be having a pointer, two pointers, one pointer maintaining the details of that particular procedure, and the other pointer will be helping us retrieve if there is any dependency with respect to any other frames or something. So this one we have two arguments, so which is X and Y, and the body of the procedure which is B. Right? The next one, here also we don't have any other dependency with respect to any other frames, so it will be pointed back to the global, the same frame where it has been created. Next we have one more procedure, F. So I'll write it here, F procedure. This is also a procedure, so it will be represented like this. So we have two pointers, one pointer maintaining the details, so A, and the body of the function F. Here also we don't have any dependency, so it will be pointed back to your global environment. So when we are having definitions of all the procedures done, this is how your global environment will look like. I mean, so this is how your environment will look like. Now, if you are having the procedure call happening, f of say some 5 or something, what happens? This is what I was just drawing it. So when we are having all the definitions given, this is how your global, this is how your environment will look like for all the three procedures. Okay. Now moving on, if you are having the procedure call happening, so procedure call, that is f of 5. When we are saying f of 5, what happens? Okay, we are having all these things. Along with all these things, what happens? F of 5 we are saying. F of 5 means we are having the procedure call happening. Whenever there is a procedure call, we will be creating a new frame, new environment. And since f is given a name, so you will be having the name associated with this, E1. It will be executing the body of this f procedure, and the pointer which will be pointed, or for executing this particular procedure, what are the contents which you will be getting, or where you have to return back the contents and all, it will be pointed. It can be done by using this interface. Similarly, when you are executing this F procedure, you are calling sum of squares procedure. So again, a procedure call is happening. So when again a procedure call is happening, another frame would be created. Since it is a named procedure, we will give a name associated for it, which is E2, and it will be executing the body of the procedure, which is plus square of x square of y. So to access the procedure, as well as once the procedure is done, what has to happen or all those things will be done with respect to this interface, that is this pointer. So by using this pointer, so for doing that, we will be making use of this pointer pointing to this global environment itself. So when you are executing this sum of squares procedure, we will be calling this square procedure twice. So square of x. So first time when you are calling x, which is nothing but by passing 6. So since this is a procedure call, again you will be creating a new frame. Since it is a named procedure, we will be having the environment, a name associated with it, and the body of the procedure, which is multiplication of x with x. So the interface regarding that is to get the details regarding the body of the procedure and the returning of the contents, all those things, the pointer pointed will be to the global environment. Now moving on, once again we are calling the square procedure. So again another new environment would be created where the value passed is the value 10. So x will be allocated with the value 10. And since it is a named procedure, so the environment also would be given a name, and we can access all the contents by using this pointer. That is the in this pointer where you can get the body of the square procedure, and once the procedure is done, what has to happen, all the interconnection part, or that how it is getting interconnected and how the values are getting returned, those part we are not going to discuss. That will be internally taken care. So we are not going to discuss in detail about how the values returning, how it will be assigned to this. All those things we are not going to discuss right now. We are just our main intention is you have to just understand how the memory has been allocated and how the pointers will be pointed to. That's it. Okay. So E4 environment would be created because it's a named procedure, a square. So it will be so now how it will be executed is it will be executing the E3 environment, which is x has been assigned with the value 6. It will be executing the multiplication of 6 with 6. It will return the value. So returning part we are not worried about. So once this environment is done, so it will be released. That means no more, again, we will not be having, we cannot access the same location. After that, E4 would be created and assigning the X value with 10. It will be doing 10 into 10. Once this is done, no more procedure calls from here. So this interface, this frame also would be released. After that, whatever multiplication has been happened, that is 36 and the 100, it would have been accessed through this global variable, because as I said, we are not going to see how the return values will be assigned over here and all those things. We are saying it will be internally taken care of. So 36 would be taken and 100 also would be taken and it would be added. Once this addition happens, what we require, we don't no more require this environment E2. Once this is done, this also would be released. After that, uh, uh, once this procedure is getting released, the value 136 would be returned over here, and it would be once it returns this 136 value from this function f, that is from E1, this also would be released. So as and when you are having the procedure call happening, it keeps creating the frame, and from where we can access the contents for that purpose, it will be making use of the interface, that is the pointer, which will be pointing to the global environment. And from there, we are internally calling the sum of squares procedure. So sum of since it's a procedure call, another new frame would be created, and in that frame would be pointing to the since there is a name as allocated assigned with this sum of squares, that is a named procedure. So a named environment would be created, which is E2, and to access the procedure and all those things, we will be the interface would be pointed to the global environment. Similarly, when you are executing the sum of squares procedure, we have two procedure calls done. square of x and square of y. So since it's a two procedure, two frames would be created, and those two frames are, since it is a named procedure square, so those two frames would be having a pointer, named pointer, which is E3 and E4 assigned. And to access the definition of the square procedure and all, it will be the pointer would be pointing to the global environment. So once this procedure calls are completed, then automatically this environments, whatever we have created, it would be released. So that next time another new procedure is getting called, we can make use of the same environment names, E1, E2, E3, something like that. Okay. So put complete diagram, it will be something like this. So you will be having the global environment where you have the definition of your three procedures done. And from here, when you are saying f of 5, we have the environment created. It got overlapped. You have this where E1. Here we have, as per this textbook, they have named it to be as E1, E2, E3, E4. If you want, you can give your own names like A, B, C, D, whatever. X1, X2, X3, whichever one. Okay, so we have the definition of the procedure. After that, we have the procedure call happening f of 5. So E1, from there, sum of squares is getting called. So another frame E2. From there, square of 6 is happening. So another environment E3. From there, square of 10 is happening. So another environment E4. And all the four would be pointing to the global environment. Okay. Because it is not within any other blocks or something, so it will be pointing to the above, just above that, whatever, and where we can get this procedures. Okay.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
ma'am, there's another procedure X which has the same parameters A, which do the body is sum of squares A plus 2 into A plus 2. We have to square that. So in the even function, not a function block, the parameter is A. So to which function it will be passed on to, F or X?
The name of the procedure is?
X. Anything, ma'am. I just said X.
You, along with these three procedures, you are having another procedure called X procedure, right?
Huh.
So where you have these two representations, where you have two arguments, X and Y, and the body. And this pointer would be pointing back. Now, are we calling it?
No, yes, ma'am. Parameter is only A, ma'am. We have to just square the number. A plus 2 into A plus 2.
A plus 2
Likewise,
into?
for the F function, we have parameters as A, right? Similarly, for X function, the parameter is A only.
Okay.
There we are doing A plus 1 into A plus 2. Here we will do A plus 2 into A plus 2.
We have A and the body, and as the body of this procedure, we have sum of squares getting called. Sum of squares getting called with A of plus A with the 2 and multiplication of A with the 2.
The body is not important, ma'am. Like the parameter is same, right?
Now what is your question?
In the E1 block,
Uh,
we said that the parameter A is passed on to f function.
because it was f of 5. We were calling f of 5. F of 5 was happening. So we created a new frame. Since it was f of 5, a new frame has been created. Since it is a named procedure, E1 has been allocated, a name has been given to this particular frame. And we are executing the F procedure body.
Okay, ma'am. I got confused. Like A is there, no, ma'am. So
A is just the argument.
yeah.
But these frames are getting created because by using these names, name of the procedure.
Yeah, ma'am. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you will not be calling your X procedure. Even though the name of the arguments are same and all, but X procedure will not be called. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Understood.
So next factorial one, I think it's 1018. I'll stop with this. We'll continue in the next class with factorial procedure, and we shall see when it is this is linear recursive procedure, how the environment would be created. When it is linear iterative, how the definitions would happen. Okay. And then we shall see with respect to block, if you are having any block factorial procedure itself. That is like when we say for iterative, when we take up with the linear iterative, that iterative, sub procedure could be globally available or it could be within a block, right? Then how the environment would be created. So in next class, we shall see with all the three cases. Tomorrow, first, you don't have class, okay? Which I have already compensated on Friday 4th hour. So next Thursday, we shall take up all the three cases with respect to the factorial one. And we will be having the missed quiz exam on Friday. The portion is symbolic data and assignment statement. Friday, 3rd hour, last 15 minutes. Hope there is no other clash. No response. Tired of watching yesterday's match?